Games normally have jump mechanics. However, what if you could only jump? That wouldn't get annoying, right? Oh my god. No. No! Oh, hell no. Oh my god. Oh. So, how did this all begin? Well, I first needed to create a prototype with the main jump mechanic of the game. I started off with the projectile trajectory.
Trajectory.
Alright, that's better. Okay, that sounds kinda complicated, but if you've ever played Rainbow Six Siege recently, well, it's basically when you just throw a grenade. If you're wondering why I actually need this, it's because I ain't making a normal jump mechanic. Basically, as you hold the jump button, the strength goes up and down. One could say it's a bit like your mother. Anyway, when it came to making this, it worked first try since coding is easy for me and I could never possibly fail. Wait. Now, I kinda go a bit off topic here since I started experimenting with the graphics. All I did though was just add an outline to everything. The tutorial on how I did it is in the description, but as you can see it kinda makes everything look more cartoony. Okay, back to jumping. All I do is just apply some force in the direction of that line and then it works. There was currently nothing around to test this jump, so it was time to make a quick level, and boom. Okay, now we can jump around some towers. Alright, that's all for the video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. I'm just joking, this is just a prototype. And it's looking, let's just say, a bit basic, which leads me to the next part of the video, the visuals. Okay, there were many things I needed to improve on, so I started off by creating the ground material. This included loads of tiny squares to add some detail, in other words I'm just making fake sand. Next up, these platforms are not exactly working for the style of the game, so I made some nice looking rock towers along with other rock formations for the environment. What I mean by rock formations is we've got the half donut rock, we've got the rock looking rock, and then we've got more rocks that look like a rock. Yeah, I think you get the point. I just made loads of rocks. Learning the new method of making rocks was pretty useful though, so expect rocks in all my future games. My next game is just going to be you playing as a rock, and yeah, you just sit around doing rock stuff, I guess. Yeah, I'll just shut up now.
Oh brother, this guy stinks!
As you can see in the game, the outline is shown on the rock, so I need this rock to be as low poly as possible, otherwise it'll just end up looking like this. This was my first attempt of making an island. I did manage to make a better one however, and it looks a lot better in game. You may be thinking, why does this matter? As it's kinda hidden under the water. Well, I'm kind of an idiot. In my defense though, I do make floating islands later on. Now, what do we need to go with this island? I hope you're not thinking of kids right now, because that's wrong, and no, I need to make water. This is not the finished result, but for now, let's move on to making something else, which is going to be cactuses. I made 3 variants of these nice looking plants to mix it up. We first got the waving cactus, then we got the small cactus, and then last of all we got the boring stray cactus. What did I say about low poly? Oh wait, I can just slide this down to fix it. If only I knew this before. Now that we have them all scattered around, I changed the skybox to my own custom colours to give that more deserty feel. There was now only one thing sticking out. The white cube in the middle of the screen. As you can see, I always intended for the main character to be the kangaroo, but I still wanted to see if there was any better choices, like this grasshopper. I mean, it could have worked, but I just ended up going for the kangaroo. It's also not my best model, but I'll just hide the face from the camera. I just need to get it animated, and if you have watched my other videos, you should know that I absolutely love this part. But it actually was kinda easy this time. Hey, you're supposed to be on the floor, not floating. Anyway, it now works pretty well. Just ignore my reaction. If I miss, I like men. Ah, fluff. Oh yeah. I didn't do that on purpose, right? That was not on purpose. Now, the last main part for the visual section is the massive blue cube, which is in need of some detail. I gave the water some depth. I put foamy white stuff around the objects. That's a bit weird. I also added some wavy texture and it gave some nice results. Alright, let's go test the water. Well, that was kinda underwhelming. That leads me to my next section, VFX. Instead of water VFX, I did the ground VFX first. You'll see why in a second. It's a pretty simple slam effect, but later on I make it so it copies any colour it lands on, and well, it also does this. Again, I'll fix this later. The reason I made this first was because of the extremely difficult and complex way of making water splashes. It's also called copy and pasting. Well, I'm only half joking since I use this but also add a ripple effect which just uses a flat cone from Blender and some weird shader stuff. Anyway, the game has a lot more impact now when you hit into stuff. This now drops me off and lands me into the next thing I wanted to do. That bad joke was talking about the starting cutscene I created, which transitions the player into the game more smoothly. I don't really know why the kangaroo falls from the sky. I mean, maybe he died and it's coming back from heaven, I guess. Moving on. I kind of intend this game to be a speedrun game, so I'm going to add a timer to the top of the screen, which is definitely not the timer from one of my previous games. We all love a bit of competitive... We all love a bit of competitiveness... We all love a bit of competitiveness when it comes to games, so whoever gets the highest score, I'll put your username in my next video. I know, it's not a lot, but that's all I can really give. Hey you! If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe right now. You can also write a comment saying what I should add next. Just make sure it's something, I could add. Anyway, back to the video. So, I'm not going to bore you with all the menu and settings and all that, because who really cares, and I kind of care about my watch time. I mean, if you want to admire it, then you can do that when you play the game, but for now, I may just say it's here if you're wondering. Anyway, it's a bit quiet around here, so it's time to add some sounds.
Oh shit, here we go again.
I'm sorry to disappoint, but the only sound I made was this jump sound. And the rest was just royalty-free stuff, like this really loud landing sound. I'm honestly surprised it can jump by how heavy it sounds. A bit like your mum. Okay, I don't usually do many fun things later on in the video, but this time I'm doing something interesting. Level design. So, we have this starter island so far, but we need more for this to be a proper demo. So, after you beat the first level, which you better not be trying to skip by jumping on any cactuses, you then cross these floating rocks to reach the Head Smacker Island. This looks like any other island, but now we have logs. These give some variety from my many rock models, since these aim for more accuracy instead of timing, and you'll have to use these to reach the main part of the island. This main part is a big arch which may just be the donut rock with a bunch of rocks below it. But anyway, this is in the way of jumping to the next section, and you have to avoid jumping too high to get past, or, well, this happens. Now, the next section is basically the Floating Rocks 2.0, but as I'm nice, I put some logs on there as it does make it a lot easier. I didn't want people failing on this part as it'd be slightly annoying, and this is only really meant to be the start of the game. Alright, you do not understand how long this took me to get up to this part, alright? So, let's move on. Once you reach the end, we are onto the massive boulder rock, which you have to climb by the smaller rocks on the side. You can probably tell I'm running out of ideas here since, well, I've never really seen a rock grow on a rock. Well, I guess they exist now. You all have to be careful in this part since you have nothing to land on until you reach the end. Once you do reach the end, there is a floating island which, well, you can't actually reach. Never mind. Okay, now you can reach the island, which marks the start of the floating island section. But this is the end of the demo. Not to brag at all, but I do have this cool cutscene at the end where the text goes bigger. No bragging. It also saves your high score, which is hopefully better than mine. I just want to say that's not actually my high score, I just used that to test the high score system, okay? Because that's actually a pretty trash time for this game. If you're wondering why the times are so low for this game, it's because every time you hit the water, it resets your time. So it's not really your actual time. I should probably put a death counter, but you know, that'd probably be a bit mean, having to see all the times you failed. Anyway, this was the most fun I've ever had making a game. So if you've enjoyed the video, like and subscribe and leave a comment please. And if this video does well, I'll continue making this game. If not, well, it'll be on to the next video, which will probably be in another month. So anyway, thanks for watching and see you next time.